Hi.
Please introduce yourself and what are you doing here in LA?
Hello, viewers of the internet, I assume. I am Nick Borsellino, and I am a comedian, and I don't know how I got to LA. Are we in LA? We're in Culver City. This isn't even LA.
Hollywood then.
Yeah, okay. How did I get to... I live in
We're in
West
Los
Hollywood.
Angeles.
Yeah. In the metropolitan Los Angeles area. Well, I originally moved out here to get into film. I wanted to be like the next Quentin Tarantino. And then I started working on like art department and like indie films and student films. And that sucks. That's a lot of work. So I decided to do stand-up, which is zero manual labor as far as I know. And that's what I'm trying to do now, I guess.
What sucked so much about working in production and the art studio?
Art department specifically, because I was working on low budget shit. I can swear, right?
Yes.
Oh, fuck yeah. I was working on like super low budget. So art department was me, so I would have to do all of it. And especially with like indie movies and student film, art department, your first one's in, last one's out. Because you got to set up everything, and then camera comes in, they set up everything, and then once they're done, you got to take it all down. And that's like 12-hour days. I don't know, I felt like I was a glorified furniture mover. Like I would just like, camera would be like, we need this move, and I just move like a whole couch. I'm like, it sucks. It's no fun. And you get like camp vibe with people, like the crew. They turn into your camp friends. You're like, we're gonna be friends forever, and then you never talk to them again. It's like every production, every like out of town production too. You're like, we're gonna be bonded for life, and then the movie never comes out. 90% of the movies I worked on never came out, or were just screened to some asshole's class, some spoiled kids class.
Would you say that experience embittered you and then you started stand-up? Or did you want to start stand-up before you were embittered by this?
Oh, I wanted to do stand-up in high school. I just never had the guts. And then it was like, okay, well, film seems like easier because I'm behind the scenes. And then I was like, no, actually behind the scenes is worse. It seems a lot more terrible. You get the shit end of the stick that way. But I don't know.
What was the catalyst, the moment where you decided, I am doing stand-up? And what was your first mic like?
Oh, my first... I don't remember the moment where I'm like definitely doing stand-up. I tried doing like a YouTube talk show, like Bill Burr style, where it was just like camera on me and I would just babble into it, and it was terrible. I get like 3 views, and then I was like, you know what, like this sucks. I'm talking to nobody. If I actually go out and do stand-up, then I can get like a response. Like, am I funny? You know, like, because if you do stand-up, you tell a joke, it lands, people laugh. That you get a audio thing. But like doing this, if I tell a joke, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if you people at home are laughing. But you asked about my first open mic. My first open mic was Hollywood Hotel on Vermont. It's still there. They don't do mics, but it was the bar that was like under in the basement. And I remember I came up with this bit. I was trying to be a little more Andy Kaufman-y than I am now, I guess. But like I had this bit where I had like popsicle sticks in my breast pocket, and like my plan was, if my jokes bomb, what I would do I would pull out and be like, you guys don't like these jokes, how about this one, and read a popsicle stick joke. But like I had them in my pocket the whole time, and I was just like, that seems stupid. I'm not going to go into my pocket. And I was way too nervous to go into my pocket to actually do that. And then midway through my set, the host, who looking back now I realize was kind of a green host, because instead of using the stopwatch thing, he used the timer app. So it counted down, it had an alarm for timing people's sets. So like the person before me got off stage early, so then he's like, oh, coming up next, Nick Borsellino. And then I go up, and midway through my set, his alarm goes off because it was timing for the last comic. And I'm pretty sure the only laugh I got was, what was that? Was that an Amber Alert? He goes, yeah, it's an Amber Alert. I'm like, should we go outside and check right now? What kind of car is it? Maybe we should start a search party or something. But yeah, that was my first time. And then I also remember, because it threw me off, the alarm going off. And I just looked at him, and like, towards the end of my set, I'm like, am I done? Can I go now? Almost like a little kid that didn't want to go into the pool, and then his dad made him go in the pool, and he was asking his dad, like, can I get out of the water now? Is this enough time?
To do just enough time to be allowed.
Yeah. Is this acceptable? Is this acceptable time to leave?
Dad?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. How long have you been in Los Angeles now, or are you a native?
No, I grew up in Tinley Park, Illinois, suburb of Chicago. People from Chicago hate it when I say I'm from Chicago because I'm not actually from Chicago, but they're assholes. Fuck those people. Yeah, I grew up in the suburbs of Illinois, and I moved here when I was 19. I think that was like 2012 or something. And I did film for about 3 years, and then got into stand-up, something like that. I don't know. I'm bad with.
How long have you been doing stand-up now?
I think since 2018, around then. It was like on and off in the beginning. It would be like I would do like a mic a month, and then like that was really fun and really scary. Let me take a break. Let me think about what I did. I think like consistently was right before shutdown. Like right when I was getting good was when pandemic swooped in, and consistently going and having like friends, because like the beginning it was very shy. I didn't talk to anybody. I just went to the open mic and sat in the corner and just watched.
Now that you've been in LA for a while, what are your expectations for the future?
I don't know. I was never very optimistic. I always had a feeling like I just have some fun with it, you know? Like if you make it, you make it. If you don't, who gives a shit? You'll get to tell people at your day job that you were a comedian at one point, and people will go, "That's cool," and that's fine by me, you know? Like if I never make it and I have to do day jobs and I just bum around open mics, that's fine by me. Who gives a shit? But making it would be nice.
I guess then we'll get to the big question that
Yeah.
I always ask a little earlier than normal. But what does making it in Hollywood and the
Right.
entertainment business look like to you?
To me, like what would be my ideal, like being a professional comedian, to me it would be, I don't really want to be so famous I can't walk down the street. But like walking down the street and having people say a quick hello, that's cool. I would want to be able to go to any comedy club and they know who I am and they already know I'm funny and let me on stage. Like I want that kind of pull. That's you know what I mean? Like just. I always love hearing about comedians. They're like, "Oh, I just went to the Laugh Factory. They threw me up." I'm like, "That sounds like the dream." You just walk in, they throw you up, and then you get to hang out the whole time. That's making it for me. Like I don't give a shit about like fans or like money or anything like that. I just want to be able to do comedy, you know, whenever and wherever I want.
Is there ever a moment in the back of your head where you think you would want to quit comedy or quit stand-up?
Nah, I don't think I would ever quit it entirely. I think I would just be like, just do open mics. Who cares, you know? Comedy's meant to be fun. It's meant to be funny. And if it's not fun and it's not funny, like obviously there's shit that's not fun, but you still got to do because it's like, I don't know. I think about it like if you're playing a video game, and there's like one level of the video game you hate. You're just like, I hate every time I have to go into the fucking sewer or whatever, you know? I hate the water temple. You don't hate the video game, you hate the water temple. So you struggle through the water temple so you can get to the parts of the video game you like. That's kind of how I look at stand-up a little bit. Like, yeah, there's sucky things, and you're just like, darn it. But whatever. You know? What part of life doesn't have that? I'd rather deal with that in something that's fun, like stand-up, than deal with that in a bullshit job that I don't care about. Like, it kind of puts things in perspective, too, because when I do work those bullshit jobs I don't care about them. So who cares if I get in trouble? It feels like you know, when you get in trouble as an adult on a job, you should have the mentality of like, oh no, did I do something wrong? My bad. Like you shouldn't get nervous. But yeah.
Inside of stand-up then,
Yeah.
what has been maybe one of your worst experiences in the stand-up scene in LA? And is that your water temple? Is that your thing you hate? Is that the level you get through? And if not, what is that level for you?
See, like, water temple to me is posting on Instagram, booking gigs. Water temple is never performing. Well, performing's fun. Like, even if you go up and it sucks, like, most comics, if you're talking to them, they'd rather hear about your bombs than rather how good you did. I'd rather hear about a comic bombing. I'm to the point where it's like, I don't care. Yeah, I know you're a funny person, but let me hear a funny person do bad. That's more entertaining at times. But yeah, it's like the social media stuff and like feeling like you have to post things, which kind of don't. You do and you don't, but you feel like you have to. I think that's my water temple.
So where around LA are you living right now? What's your living situation like?
I'm in West Hollywood. I'm living in a one bedroom with my wife. I'm in a great spot right now because I'm walking distance from the Improv, the Comedy Store, and the Laugh Factory, and it's fairly cheap. I'm not gonna say how much I pay, but it's cheap. It's real cheap for that area. So I'm probably have better living situations than most successful comics, you know, like even people that are, you know, being paid, unlike me.
Did you ever have a bad living situation in LA?
Not too bad. I moved out here, I had a place, because my parents were a little weird about me living with strangers, so they gave me a couple bucks to get an actual apartment for a little bit until I got on my feet, and I just kind of stuck in that, living by myself for a while, which honestly is weird. Living by yourself, especially because I was dating my girlfriend at the time because we were long distance for like 3 years. I guess that was the weirdest living situation, is being long distance from your girlfriend and living alone. Like, you're living a single lifestyle without the single lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like, you live by yourself, but not that I wanted to, I actually kind of liked it. Like, but that is kind of an odd situation. And I had a platonic friend that was a woman, and people were thinking I was cheating and stuff, but whatever.
So that's really quite amazing. So you live with your wife, a good spot, you're next to all the clubs.
Right.
I mean, maybe let's move on to kind of a happier note in the stand-up community. What has been maybe your all-time favorite experience in the stand-up community?
All-time favorite experience. I mean, right now I'm really loving the Riff Raff show and everything that's going on with the Riff Raff show, being a part of that. Riff Raff show, Comedy Store every third Saturday at midnight, and it's just been amazing. So essentially, what the Riff Raff show is, it's stand up, but it's truth or dare. So you could either pick riff, which is topics that you can riff on, or raff, which is dare topics, something physical. The most famous one is dick punch. So one might pull out a raff dick punch, and what that means is somebody from the audience comes up and punches you in the dick. And I actually drew, and that's probably one of the funniest things is I drew dick. I was doing this show for a year, and I didn't draw dick punch ever. And then the last one that was at Third Wheel, which is where we used to do it, I drew dick punch, and my wife was in the crowd, and my wife actually got to dick punch me. That was a highlight, is getting dick punched by my wife on stage. Yeah, lots of Riff Raff highlights. Kill Tony, going on Kill Tony, that was pretty cool. The best part about going on Kill Tony for me was the fact that once I got on Kill Tony, that means I performed in each stage at the Comedy Store. Because Potluck is in the original room, and Belly Room sometimes has mics, and I never got the main stage. So Kill Tony did let me do the main stage, so that was pretty cool to actually get laughs on the main stage of the Comedy Store. So yeah, those would probably be my highlights, I would say.
Really awesome highlights. Those are
yeah.
pretty key moments at the beginning. What is next for you? Like, you've been doing pretty well in the scene, and I'm just really curious. What do you think is your next step?
So right now I'm working on a talk show in a pool. It's going to be called Float is Gonna Float. It's a play on Haters Gonna Hate. And essentially what I'm doing is trying to make early 90s Conan, but set in a pool. And working with a great cinematographer, camera guy, editor, and working on that. So I'm really hoping that takes off, because that's going to be really, really fun if it works out. Who thought of a talk show out of a pool? It's probably the first, I hope. I hope it's an original idea. Maybe I saw it like in my sleep drunkenly one day and stole it. But yeah, so I'm hoping that's going to go well. It should be a lot of fun. I'm going to be working on the second episode pretty soon. We're going to start booking guests and writing monologue jokes and things of that nature. So yeah, I've noticed I'm trickling more. I used to be a little more absurd and silly in my comedy, and then I had a booker at a comedy club, I probably shouldn't say which one, Flappers, tell me that my comedy was boring because it was being a little like edgy, he said. I didn't think it was edgy, but he said I was being edgy and it was boring, and then he's like, what do you talk about your dad, talk about your wife. So I started doing like the typical like, my life, jokes and crazy things. But now I'm back to being silly fun time, which I think is what comedy should be. It shouldn't be talking about your day. Some people do that good. Some people have great stories about their day and really, really talented. But me personally, I kind of like just being a fucking doofus asshole on stage.
I have seen you around a lot, and silly fun time I think would be a good way to describe yourself.
Silly fun time, yeah.
Especially to a stranger, it's like you're a silly fun time guy.
Yeah.
Who holds it together very, very well.
I've gotten that a lot. People say that I look like I have it more together than most comedians. I'm like, I don't know where you're getting that from, but I'll take it as a compliment.
I think I get it from looking at other comedians that aren't you. And,
oh yeah, I guess so. There's a lot of miserable comedians, which is the weirdest thing to me. Like it's a job centered around fun. Why the fuck are you so miserable?
Where on that topic of not being miserable and having fun, where do you feel like you get your inspiration and drive to keep doing comedy now that you've been in it for a while?
The Norm Macdonald question. Where do you get your jokes? Inspiration. I go for walks, honestly. I heard a comedian say like comedians shouldn't get writer's block. Like it shouldn't happen for a comedian, because if you have writer's block, go to the beach. Find something funny that happens at the beach. Go to a new city. Never been to San Diego? Go to San Diego. Find something funny about San Diego, Or I don't know. I watch Conan is a big inspiration when I was a kid. I watched a lot of Conan. Like Andy Kaufman was big. Mitch Hedberg. Those are probably Norm. Those are probably what I draw most of my humor from. Ali G. I love Ali G. It's nothing funnier to me than having somebody do an interview with somebody that's really intelligent and asking childlike questions. That just makes me giggle every time. I'm a big troll at heart, I think.
All right. So, now that you've been established and you're in the scene, is there anything you look around at and you think to yourself, I disagree with that. I don't like the way that is run, or that annoys me?
Yeah. I think the thing that annoys me is the comedians that are making money off of other comedians. And what I mean by that is like slotted mics. So in LA we have these things called slotted mics where you pay $5 to do a mic. And comedians run them. And I think it's kind of weird to be like, I want to make money doing stand-up. The way I want to make money doing stand-up is by charging the people I work with to do stand-up. I'm like, I get it. LA's expensive. There's a lot of things that you have to pay for. But if you're a comedian, don't you want to make money off of the people you make laugh, not off of the, your friends? I wouldn't want to take money from my fellow comedian. I want to take money from you slobs that pay for comedy shows. That's who I want to take money from. And it's not even mostly going to me. It's going to the clubs most of the time. Those chicken wings, those don't go to me. Those go to the club. Yeah.
Well, Nick, this has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, this is fun.
Is there anything you would like to plug more than we already have?
Yeah.
Or any final reflections that you'd like to share?
All right, let's get the plugs out of the way. So we got Riff Raff, Comedy Store, Belly Room, Saturdays, every third Saturday at midnight. I also have a YouTube channel about roller coasters and theme parks. It's called Coaster Comic. I'm going to be posting a bunch of, me and my wife went to Europe, so we went to a bunch of European amusement parks, not Disney, just like the regional parks, like the Six Flags of Europe. That's what we wanted to do. That's what we did. So we're going to be posting those soon. And then Floater's Gonna Float should be coming out soon. I think that it's going to be on YouTube, maybe a podcast. I think it's got to be visual, so watch it on YouTube. If it comes out on Apple, just watch it on YouTube. That's better. And then final reflections. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. This was really nice.